Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Senator Quinn. Firstly, I would like to begin by thanking the Construction Industry Federation for inviting me this morning to open this conference on public procurement in Ireland. It seems to me that it's an important initiative at this time, undertaken by the CIF to provide knowledge and support to the construction industry with regard to best practice when operating under public procurement legislation. I know that you have a number of experts in the audience, not just in construction, but also in terms of the public procurement process. So I will restrict myself to some remarks in one of my own areas, which is energy. And I will take the opportunity to say thank you to the CIF for its involvement, and I hope its ongoing and continued involvement in the 70 million energy efficiency fund that we launched a few weeks ago. It's essentially a fund that is focused on retrofit, this time on public and commercial buildings, rather than the domestic retrofit program, which proceeds apace. But this is on public and commercial buildings. The 70 million is off the state's accounts, established as a separate fund. We hope that if the take-up is significant, that we will be able to leverage similar funding in Brussels through the European Investment Bank and so on. And I'd like to thank the CIF for its involvement. Under EU legislation, as you know, Ireland must achieve very ambitious energy targets to reduce our energy consumption by 20% by 2020. It is estimated that 1 million of our buildings will need to be retrofitted across the domestic, public and private sector by that time. Smarter public procurement will undoubtedly play a crucial role with regard to fulfilling our energy efficiency targets. Public bodies are major consumers of goods and services and are estimated to spend in the region of 14 billion annually through their procurement budgets. This equates to almost 12% of Ireland's gross domestic product. The public capital programme comprises some 17 billion between 2012 and 2016 and marks a significant expenditure commitment in the current somewhat constrained economic climate. The Construction Procurement Reform Initiative, which was launched in 2007, is tasked with delivering greater cost certainty at tender stage, better value for money and more efficient project delivery, and comprises a standard suite of documents for use by all contracting authorities in tendering for public works contracts. Green public procurement can be a real driver for innovation, providing many industries, including the construction industry, with incentives to get involved in developing products and delivering quality services. It has never been more important for government to strive to become more energy efficient. The government's action plan on green public procurement, green tenders, that was published in 2012, provides a framework for procurement in an energy efficient and sustainable way. Under the framework, the government has identified key priority areas, including construction, energy, food, and ICT, where there is significant opportunity to innovate. Furthermore, the plan acknowledges that energy efficient procurement is good procurement, and among its key objectives are to improve energy efficiency and reduce energy consumption and costs. This can be achieved through the procurement of products of superior energy efficient performance, sustainable energy services, and energy efficient capital projects. The knock-on effect is that through winning tenders in Ireland, we can become a portal to global export markets. It should be of particular note to the construction industry that improving energy efficiency and renewable energy uptake in our building stock are key elements to support us in meeting our energy efficiency targets by 2020. It is imperative that we pick up the pace, scale and depth of investment in upgrading existing buildings to support Ireland in reaching those energy efficiency goals. This will require a cross-government collaborative approach, in particular between my department, the Department of Education and the Department of Jobs. In order for the construction industry to step up to the mark and become fully involved, it will require the correct skills needed to achieve the 2020 energy savings targets. What we need to do is provide professional, fully accredited, targeted training courses to construction workers who wish to answer the call. Building Up Skills Ireland has been established as part of an EU-wide initiative to specifically provide energy training for builders. The project has done an in-depth analysis of the skills gap in order to best target energy training for builders across the retrofit area. On foot of this analysis, it is anticipated that employment and skills demand in renewable technologies and the building sectors are set to increase. Analysis also reveals the employment potential in the renewable energy generation and energy management sectors. With this in mind, training has been targeted to deliver new energy skills and competences specifically to the construction industry. The aim is to have the highest standards and calibre of installers and building energy rating assessors available to the retrofit industry. I urge the CIF to support this initiative. The government has invested some 250 million in exchequer funding in energy efficiency programmes in the domestic and non-domestic sectors in the last few years. And it is estimated that that investment has leveraged approximately the same figure from the private sector. The programme for government commits to a move away from exchequer-funded grants and the introduction of sustainable financing initiatives. I want to mention one of the most exciting initiatives in the energy efficiency sector for many years. The government is committed to roll out a better energy financing scheme for domestic buildings after 2013. The BEF model proposes that the current suite of exchequer-funded grants for energy efficiency measures, excluding the low-income housing retrofit programme, will be replaced by a new financing scheme open to households and commercial operators. My department has put in place a project team to design a suitable model under the direction of a project board representing key state and industry stakeholders. Project resources have been drawn from industry experts and elsewhere in the public sector. I would strongly urge CIF to get on board and fully support this important scheme that will impact greatly on the retrofit industry in the future. I'm happy to say that I launched the Energy Efficiency Fund, as I said, combined with a call for exemplar projects last month. The fund will provide finance to energy efficiency initiatives in the public and private sector. The aim is to attract matching funding from the private sector such that the overall amount available for the investment is greater than the 70 million fund. The fund will be supported by the creation of a national energy performance contracting policy framework, which will standardise energy performance contracting in Ireland. The framework will provide a robust process for establishing investment-ready projects. Work on the framework is well advanced, and I expect the guidance material will be published shortly. I'm pleased that my colleague, Minister Brian Hayes, who has responsibility for the OPW, recently brought the Construction Contracts Bill 2010 through the second stage in the Dáil. And I acknowledge the presence of Fergal Quinn, who was the original author of this particular piece of legislation. The bill is of great significance to all present here. Through increased protection under statutory mechanisms, it seeks to alleviate the issue of non-payment to construction sector contractors and subcontractors who have completed work to the required standard on construction projects. My understanding is that any further amendments to that bill are likely to be considered by government on Tuesday. I'm not sure about that, but that certainly was the intention in order to finalise that piece of legislation. Your industry, as you know, has been in decline since 2007. However, the latest quarterly National Household Survey from the CSO reveals direct construction employment rose in the third and final quarters of 2012. This is the first time that this has been achieved since construction reached its peak in 2007. And I think everybody understands that we're never going back to having 15, 16, 17% of the working population involved in construction. The task confronting the government is nothing short of recasting the economic model in this country. But in so doing, that involves coming back to some normal levels of construction activity, and we're still a very long way from that. The Construction Contracts Bill, when finalised, will be another positive step for the industry and is in line with the programme for government commitment to introduce new legislation to protect all small building subcontractors that have been denied payments from bigger companies. And I hope that in the coming couple of weeks we will see that bill concluded. Let me conclude, Chairman, by wishing the conference well, because I think with the expertise that you have assembled, I think government will be very interested to see the outcome of your deliberations. Thank you very much indeed.